Yeah, so you can just say okay to that. Thanks. Okay. So I'm going to back up here so you can see me. We're going to start. So don't get, you don't have to be super crazy. I mean, in general, we do long strokes on the bones, circular actions on the joint. But honestly, you want to just spread this is the point that if you want, I mean, you can turn off your camera and get cozy and comfy. So we're going to start on our ears. So for a nice little easy, like if you don't have time to do a whole body massage, you can just oil your ears and your feet right before you go to bed. So you're just going to kind of rub the edges and the backs of the ears and the earlobes. I have my iPods on, so I'm not getting too crazy in my ears. And then just come to the back of the head. So you can already feel, so it's funny, like it was only like a year or maybe 2 years ago. I love the idea of coconut oil. So I was doing so I'm just warming up even more my oil in my hands. And now we're going to come underneath the eyes and around on the top of the cheekbone. And just nicely go from the inner to the outer on the cheekbone, kind of do the upper cheekbone, the middle cheekbone, and then underneath the cheekbone. And then do your temples. I was saying about the coconut oil, I just kind of love coconut oil. I love coconut. I like coconut milk. I like coconut flakes, coconut water, coconut ice cream. You get my drift here. So I just chose coconut oil because I like coconut. And I didn't even recognize that there was a temperature difference between how the oil felt. Mm-hmm. So I know I have got a couple emails about I'm feeling this. And a lot of people were feeling a little achy in their joints. I'm just going now onto my forehead, around the third eye. You can do a little circular sensation at the third eye. Achy in the joints and cold. So this is like the perfect thing to warm up the body and warm up the joints is the sesame and the mustard oil. The mustard oil is like super, it also has kind of a really intense smell. So if you like mustard, then you probably will be okay. I find sesame, we're also pretty used to that. Then come down to the jawline and just go around the bottom of your jawline. And if you have any questions, you can just ask, or about anything. I think that would be okay. And then get into the cheekbones and round the cheekbones. So you can really feel the difference between what the way the oils come out on the heat and the warmth of the heat. So coconut oil is definitely cooling. Mm-hmm. And the sesame and the mustard are definitely warming. All right, so we did our face. So now we're just going to, I'm going to just grab a little bit more oil. So for the arms, it's like long stroke down the arm. Inner arm, outer arm, go underneath in the arm. And then just do one arm and then you can do the other arm. So I'm doing long strokes on each arm, but you can just do you can do one whole arm. So here we're gonna take a little dab of oil and massage in the shoulders. This feels good. Get right in there into the joints with a circular action. Keep your awareness of your breath. This is like such a like nourishing practice. And then the elbows. So the permeability is, you know, an important point here, because it might seem like, well, how is oiling? I've actually pretty much given up using lotion, because if you notice, most lotions, even really good ones, have a lot of chemicals in them. And really, you don't need to spend a lot of money on lotion. And if you Abhyanga, so during a cleanse, if you have time, it's great to do this practice every day. But once a week is good. They say that in the and then come down to the wrist and just circular. Go, like, I like take my wrist and just kind of go around like a little bracelet, just around the wrist, and then coming into the thumb. I really get into that base muscle of the thumb and the joints of the thumb. With your other thumb, just rub the palm of your hand and then each finger. But even in the summertime, like if you run oily, so we have these 20 qualities in Ayurveda, dry and oily, like the opposite. So as we're working with this autumn season going into winter, this cold, dry mobility, rough, right? That's really when we want to spend a lot of time Abhyangaing. You're a super dry person like I am. I can Abhyanga all summer long and not have a problem with it. So you just kind of get to know. Do the circular part on the other arm, rubbing into the shoulders. I'll be very interested. I was very looking forward to tonight because I'm not sure when I last Abhyanga'd. And I'm looking forward to see what happens to my shoulders, because they feel really tight. And then coming down, circulating around the elbow. The 20 minutes to half an hour is a great time to give yourself to really nourish all the skin. At the end of our Abhyanga, I'm just going to go through a few health self-care practices so we can kind of soak in a little bit. But as we all know, sometimes it feels like, wow, do we even have enough time to give ourselves a half an hour, right? It's a busy life. It's a busy life. And I know that. And, you know, so it's always, and then just thumb into that thumb too. And as you self-massage, you also are hitting a lot of the marma points and the trigger points of your body. So in the thumb is like, there's a lung point. So if you're doing some trigger point therapy, if you go into the thumb, then you're working with the lung meridian, some of that energy work. And then just rubbing each finger. Good. And then we'll do our legs. Going again, the long strokes on the top of the leg and the bottom of the leg. And then coming down the calf and shin. Don't be shy, like a quarter cup, like I have this quarter cup, I'm like, am I going to use this? I think you really have to kind of slather it on and be pretty generous here. We're going to do the feet last so that you're just not putting oil all over your floors. Have a nice big beach towel out. Just keep doing those long strokes. I'm getting in with the heel of my hand and just coming down the shin and down the calf. Coming back up the shin, coming down. This is a great place to get into, and it just feels good too as far as this is self-massage. So you can feel the hard bone of the shin, your tibia and your fibia. And then if you get right in that space between those two bones, it's like some nice muscle and fascia that doesn't get too much action. So that's really a nice place. That's like where those shin splints happen. And then get right behind the back of your heel. Maybe make these little pincher fingers, thumb and forefinger, and get in your Achilles and the back of the heel. And then circling action on the knee. Another nice point is this thigh bone, not the bone, the muscle comes up and over and across the knee. And right here at the anterior, right, of the tibia is this little attachment point. So knees are always like creaky. So it's good to kind of get in there, get that oil around the patella, get in the back of the kneecap, and just kind of circling around like a little maybe figure 8 kind of action with your hands. Good. And then we'll do the other long stroke on the leg. So when you do take a shower tonight, after this, pat yourself dry. Try not to use soap. Just kind of take a nice hot shower and then come out and pat yourself dry. You might, if you want to put on a pair of sweatpants or socks, and if you're not ready to go to bed. Though of course, in Ayurveda, they highly recommend going to bed by 10 o'clock. For some of us, that might be a bit early. That's based on the time of the day. I'm getting right in here into that. I don't know if you guys can feel that, but that feels a little tender for me, right inside that space. Does everybody see? So you're kind of getting right in, like in between the two bones.
Lori, I have a question. What happens, I don't have it right now, but what happens if you do have shin splints? Because I do sometimes get shin splints.
Well, the best, yeah, it's resting and then resting basically for shin splints. Try not to run. But actually, I would think a massage would work very well for the shin splints.
Okay,
that's
and
just like an overuse, yeah.
And when we're actually doing this oil, and we're putting our hands down our legs, should we get into that area or no? Is that going to aggravate your shin too much?
No, get into it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're feeling in tremendous pain, mine was a little tender, but now it feels better. All right. And then circular actions back on the knee. So dryness is is not good for the body, right? Particularly for aging, for our skin and for the inside. So when you think we have 7 layers of skin and then you start getting into the tissue. So it takes some time for the oil. It definitely, is moving down into the tissues and just nourishing it with oils, alleviating dryness. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit on the, you could do do everything. I'm just gonna work on my belly. So here's, again, these nice circular actions. So I'm going up on the right, across and down, following that path of the ascending, going across and descending intestine, so that you're moving with the digestive system. The transverse, that's the word I was trying to say. So just kind of going around into here. And then you can come down in a little into the below the navel and into the groin, into the belly. I'm going to go out here onto my outer hip. And so however you can get in, I just have these little shorts on. Just getting into that outer hip and getting into the bone. This is also a very sensitive attachment point for runners, or, you know, think about hamstrings. So your hamstrings attach at the base of your hip. So it's really nice to get in there and massage the sit bone and massage the glute. And then I'm just going to do the other side. And of course, if you're doing this with a partner, you can really do well with your shoulders and your back. Just have a little exchange there for the scapula blade and the low back. Super nice to do that. Good. And then I'm just going to come and show you. So I'm going to just work my low back here with my oil. Coming down into the upper part of the buttock muscles and the low back, and wherever you can reach. And then to do your side, kind of a crossing action. So I'm coming across, grabbing the ribs, and then giving them a nice, almost like a rotation. Good. And then we'll do our feet last. So like I was saying, if you just want a little shortcut for an oil, you can do the ears and the feet. I don't know if you noticed, well, my feet, you know, are always usually the coldest part of me. So it's very nice to massage the feet. And feet are also, particularly from the summer, if you spend a lot of time barefoot, very dry. And also you have these great reflexology points in your feet. So even if you don't know even what reflexology is, or, you know, you've heard about it, just with the big toe and the arch of the foot and the center of the heel, reflexology is the science that as you use pressure points onto certain parts of the base of your foot, then it connects with the organs of your body. It can the lung, the bladder, the uterus, the heart. So as you use your thumb, so I'm just really coming, if you can see, I don't get closer. So you can even like you can Google your foot and Google a map, and it's like, I think the heart is up here and the colons, I don't remember my exact points, but as you can just even press the base of the heel, the inner arch, the base of the big toe, all these spots along the sole of the foot have a correlation to a organ. Mm-hmm. So you kind of give yourself your own little reflexology. I like to go in between my toes. You can even this is a great way to stretch, right? The toes is just put each finger in between each toe and stretch them out. And it's easier to do that when your feet and your fingers are nice and oiled up. Good. And then the ankle joint, do the circular ankle, circles around the ankle, around the inner malleolus, outer. And I really love getting into the arch of my foot. You could just spend a lot of time just on the feet. These feet hold you up all day long. So they probably don't really get too much love, right? I'm not so sure, unless you get a pedicure every now and then. All right, and then I'm gonna just do my other foot. So if you ever had plantar fasciitis, so that's that fascia that connects from the base of the heel up to the toes, and that can be get very tight, and that's what causes that incredible pain. So this is a great way to kind of just pull your toes back and get a nice stretch in the base of the foot while you rub your oil. Really get into the heels and into the base of the big toe. Those are where your calluses tend to be. And then just take a moment, if you pressing right here at the base of the foot. I also like right where the heel meets the arch is a nice place for a little trigger point. And then do your toe separator. Good. All right. And then just as a little, again, the idea of long strokes, circular strokes in the joint, you really can't do anything too wrong. You're just getting the oil in. So maybe at the end, you can just do some general long strokes all the way down to the legs and to the top of the feet. And do some long strokes on the arm again. Good. And then I'm just going to come back. iPod. So this is the only thing I have found that my iPods are kind of annoying to do is during self-massage. I can do an arm balance, but massaging is difficult. So I'm just going to bring my arms up here a little bit and get into my traps. I feel like I didn't address them. And then I guess that's the other thing, because I feel like as you go over your body, and certain parts of your body might say like, hey, how about me? Like, I didn't really feel that love. So it'll like almost call out to you. So I was definitely feeling my traps calling out to me. The shoulders feel a little better. And then at the end, you just give yourself a nice massage in the skull, because we're going to wash our hair afterwards. So you can do this practice really anytime. I mean, traditionally, can be done in the morning. It could be, you could get up, oil yourself, take the dog for a walk, or put on some old sweats and do a little housework, and then take your shower. But I do find, like, I know with now working in healthcare in COVID, I have been becoming an evening showerer. So I kind of do this at night. So while you guys sit and absorb a little bit, I'm just going to go over just a couple other things. So this practice is called Dinacharya. Self-care practice. So I did talk about the tongue scraping. So every morning, this my dentist gave to me. You can just Google tongue scraper. Banyan, Banyan, has tongue scrapers. So this is an easy one. So one of the things after cleansing is like, if you're not doing any of these practices, is try to pick one or two, at least particularly the daily one, where that you can start integrating on a daily basis. And tongue scraping is super easy because it's like right next to the toothbrush. Then the other thing, I'm not going to show you how to do it, but it is the neti pot, which I'm going to do before I get into the shower. So you put some warm water in here. You have to have the neti salt. You cannot use table salt or you'll burn your nose, but you basically tilt your head and you put this in and the water runs in the nose and out the nose. So that's called neti potting. So this practice, this dinacharya practice, is the practice of cleansing and keeping our senses. So we consider these portals, the eyes, their openings, the ears, the nose, the mouth, and the skin, openings to the inside of our body. And always, I just always love this idea, like our body is a sacred space, we're sacred human beings, and like what we're bringing in from the outside world through food, through sunshine, through aromatherapy is what is our body processing to make energy. So, and then after your neti pot, this is called nasa oil. This is usually nasa oil is sesame. So again, like my boyfriend is allergic to sesame, so I try not to have a lot around. I had to make him his own personal nasa oil that didn't have sesame in it. But this is just a nice little oil. So after you do the salt, which is very cleaning and astringent, then you're just going to take your head back, lie down on your pillow, and give yourself a couple drops right down the nostril. That massaged in and moistens your, and again, particularly this time of year, if you suffer from allergies, the neti pot is a nice way to just keep things cleansed through there. So that is some of the self-care practices that are in your, of course, we have, we talk about walking in nature, meditation. These are also self-care practices that we can take part in. So does anybody have any questions about oiling? Because I'm going to let you guys go and take a nice hot shower or bath and get ready for bed. So how's everybody feel? Doesn't this feel yummy on your skin?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So no questions, then we will, well, I'll give you 1 minute to think. I know when I take these Zoom classes, they always say, are there any questions? And there's this moment or two of nothing, and then boom, 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 there's like 10 hands in a row. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure spending my evening with you. Have a great night. And remember, please, any questions, any observations, anything the way you feel, just text me or email me. I'm trying to get back to you right away. For those of you who sent me a picture of your tongue, I will take a look at it and give you just a few brief little pieces of information about that. And then we'll take a picture of the tongue after your cleanse. So hopefully everybody's doing okay. What are you on? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, day 4? Day 4? Wow. You all look good for day 4. Okay. Have a nice night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.